Too many people, a lot of people that I work with, are not willing to do what it takes. What it takes to have financial freedom so that in the midst of a crisis, you can keep your head above the water. The way you get there is by doing what it takes. And what it takes is short-term sacrifice. Short-term sacrifice for long-term gain. So many people in America today have car payments that are flat out ridiculous and stealing their chance at wealth. Stealing their chance at having options for jobs. You stay stuck in a job that you hate because you don't have the option to quit and take some time off or develop a skill or something like that so that you can get a job you like, because all you can do is go to work and make your payments. All of your payments. You've got payments on credit cards and cars and student loans and mortgages and medical debt, and the list goes on and on. But you have to ask yourself, and you have to be rational and logical and take control of your finances right now. Ask yourself, what would happen to me if I lost my job for a week or 2 weeks or a month? What would you do? You would max out your credit cards, because chances are, just based on the statistics of all the people that I've worked with over the years, chances are you don't have an emergency fund. You don't have enough money saved to support your expenses for a few weeks or months. And that's a major issue that everyone in this country faces, right? People file for bankruptcy because they run out of money. They rack up a bunch of credit card debt, max out all the credit cards, and can't get approved for anything else. And then they have to file bankruptcy because they just have no other way out. But something amazing happens when you decide to take control of your finances, write down a budget, visit it monthly, and stick to the budget that you make, that you and your spouse make. When that happens, you have control of your finances. You can finally breathe a little bit. And if you lose your job, it's not the end of the world. But how do you get to that point? Well, you've got to pay off all your debt, for starters. You've got to get rid of all the debt, because your income is constantly being taken away by all of the payments that you owe, right? A lot of people, most of the people I work with, have an average of about let's say $1,500 to $2,500 worth of payments per month on debt. That's cars, credit cards, student loans, mortgages. Well, imagine what kind of position you would be in if you didn't have $2,500 per month coming out of your household, but instead you got to keep that in your pocket. What else could you do? You could finally generously give without it being a burden. You could help someone pay their utilities, someone who's struggling. But you can't do that if you're trying to figure out how to pay your utilities the whole time because you're struggling so bad yourself. How can you help someone who's struggling if you yourself are struggling? You can't. We have to get better at managing the blessings that Yah gives us. We have to, especially in the body of Messiah. It's our job, it's our duty to manage what he blesses us with, and all of his instructions tell us how to do it. It's not rocket science, it's not hard. It comes down to deciding, making the decision to change your behavior. It's not about how much money you make. It's not about whether or not you inherit money or anything like that. You don't have to be some super genius. It's simply you deciding to change your behavior and then committing to that decision. And when you do that, you will succeed financially. You will experience financial freedom. But you can't do it when you're constantly borrowing and when you're constantly making payments and when you have no money saved for any kind of emergencies. It can't be done. It's an impossible feat to do it that way. So you have to get on a plan and you've got to stick to that plan. If you're not living by a plan, your money is going to slip through your fingers constantly, and you're going to look up and wonder where it all went. When you have a plan, that doesn't happen. You know exactly where your money's going. You know exactly how much you have left at the end of the month. If you're in debt, you throw all that money at the end of the month toward the debt, and you get out of debt like your life depends on you not having debt. Like you wouldn't live unless you paid off all your debt. That's the intensity that you need to attack your debt with, to finally be free and finally stop giving your income away to corporate giants, credit card companies, and banks that are financing your vehicle and your home and all these things. What would happen if you lost your job? Many of you, your cars would be repossessed, your homes would be foreclosed, you would struggle to even keep food on the table, and that's no way to live. And there's no reason to live that way in this country. We live in one of the wealthiest countries in the history of all time. There's no excuse, absolutely no excuse. Did you know that an immigrant that comes to this country is 4 times more likely to become a millionaire than someone who is naturally born in this country? Because they're not making excuses. They have a bigger why. They have a reason why they're working so hard. They understand the freedom that they're given here, and they take advantage of it. They don't sit around and wait for something to happen or complain and make excuses. No, they take absolute control of their career, of their finances, of everything in their lives. They take control, and they do not take it for granted. And too many of us that are born here and have lived here our whole lives do exactly that. And also too many of us, when we get old, don't have any money to support ourselves, and we can't work to support ourselves anymore. So what do? We move in with our kids. You cannot count on the government to take care of you, Social Security or something like that. You have got to take control of your situation right now and start putting money away. Pay off all your debt and then start putting money away for your future, for the generations of your family to follow you. It's a biblical thing, and it's something that's absolutely necessary if you ever want to stop struggling. But maxing out credit cards, borrowing to make payments. I mean, think about it. People borrow, they max out credit cards to make payments on other debts. You're borrowing to keep things that you're borrowing. How, in what world does that make sense? It makes absolutely no sense. You're digging out the bottom of a hole when you're trying to get out of it. And it's never going to work. That's not the solution. That's not how you do it. The way that you do it is you work your butt off, you stop borrowing, you clear up your debt, and then you save your money. You can do it. The average person with an average income, just mediocre, you can do it. The biggest thing is you have to decide. But until you decide, it will not happen. So I want to encourage you and let you know that you can do this. Make the decision today, and then commit to the decision and stick with it. And if you need encouragement, I'll be here to encourage you. You reach out to me with any questions, for any coaching, anything like that. I'm here to help you and keep you encouraged and to walk you through this. Because I've tasted it. I've done it. I've been through it. And again, I'm just as average as the next person. So you can definitely do this. As always, many blessings and choose life. Get out there and win today.